Are you a fan of Zohran Mamdani? Are you not from New York? Are you from Los Angeles? Well, if you are, then sit down and pay attention, because there's something important going on which isn't being talked about. There's a mayoral election in one of the most influential cities in the world, yet there's no press coverage of this. Okay, so let's talk about the mayoral election, right? So there's an incumbent mayor, Karen Bass, a Democrat. You'd think, oh, she'll win easily. You know, it's all over, fairly easy. It's done. No, it isn't. Because, yes, Los Angeles is a Democratic city, but the Democrats are going through a major realignment at the moment. So there's a choice between conservative Democrat Karen Bass and left-wing Democrat Nifia Rahman. Now, we're going to go through endorsements and say just broadly what this means, but it is going to be not a two-horse race, it's actually going to be a three-horse race. Remember, some Republicans live in LA, and they are backing a reality television personality. Perhaps I should be more specific. They're backing Spencer Pratt, who is that guy. Yeah, he's that guy. So, let's look at it. Yeah, we could see if debates, it's mainly these three who are invited. So, if we're looking at who's endorsing who, Karen Bass has been endorsed by sort of more conservative establishment, Kamala Harris, Alex Padilla, Gavin Newsom. She's got everyone behind her, so you'd think, oh, it should be easy. You know, there's a couple of other candidates. You do have a right-wing candidate, Spencer Pratt, who is endorsed by these people. Just get a nice read of these guys. Just read some of these names. Yep. But then who's running? Nifia Rahman. Where is she? She's only endorsed by these two groups. I've never heard of these two groups. Abundant Housing LA, New American Leaders Action Fund. That's the most NPC name ever. And Democratic Socialists of America haven't endorsed anyone. However, word on the ground is a lot of DSA and DSA-aligned people are behind Nifia Rahman. Now, if we're going to look at for fundraising, we just look at amount of money raised. Oh, what's this? Nifia Rahman all the way down here? Adam Miller? Actually, who is Adam Miller? He's on 5%. How do you raise that much money and you're on 5%? Oh, honestly, bozo. So, Spencer Pratt, Karen Bass, you know, maybe they should be fighting it out, or at least that's what money says, but no, Nifia Rahman is right in there and regularly polling second. Now, the top two of these candidates will go to the runoff later in the year, and it is going to be one of these three. Now, the question is, who out of these three? Because, yes, Karen Bass has finished first in every single poll of the campaign. However, some of those margins are very little, but the question, I think, remains, who will get second, Pratt or Rahman? However, I don't even think that's the whole story. I think there is an eventuality where Karen Bass basically just doesn't get the vote out on the day. Nifia Rahman probably pulls through enough of a Democratic base. Maybe Spencer Pratt just gets himself through there. He's got some decent funding behind him. Maybe, I don't know, just something happens. There's a genuine possibility Karen Bass does not get through, and then it's Rahman vs. Pratt. And let me be clear, if it is Rahman vs. Pratt, Rahman almost certainly wins. If it's Bass vs. Pratt, Bass almost certainly wins. If it's Bass vs. Rahman, which is the only other possibility, Bass is definitely going to have the favorability. However, given that more time, and leading up to the midterms, especially if maybe the California governor's race is a Democrat versus Republican at that point, so there's not as much focus on that because the Democrat will just win that easily, then expect to see a lot more focus on this race if it is Bass versus Rahman. So, who do I think is going to go to the second round? Progressive candidates, just recently, they always seem to put it together when required. And polls, especially these small polls, tend to underestimate them. We have Emerson College polling, which shows it's going to probably... This is including leaners, so that'll be stronger for Rahman. Will leaners turn out? So leaners generally means someone who's probably kind of likes one candidate, but probably won't go out to vote, maybe will. So, yeah, some leaners, usually maybe about half, maybe about a third, maybe about 2/3, do go out to vote. So what they believe does matter. Question is, can Rahman turn those people out, and can Rahman just chip a little bit out of the Karen Bass base of support, because there's not really going to be any crossover support between Rahman and Pratt, or at least not that much. So, yeah, it's going to be in a couple of days. I sort of get why this hasn't got as much publicity, because of course you've got the California governor election, but yeah, I think it certainly should get some more attention. So yeah, if you're in LA, lock in. If you're a progressive, lock in. Vote for Nifia Rahman. She's the firm left-wing candidate, firm left-wing positions, firm left-wing policies, and she can beat the establishment Karen Bass and the right-wing television host Spencer Pratt. Alright, thanks guys, and always remember, lock in and vote.